Hello, this is a quick video to talk about this device. So what this is a custom controller that can be used to affect interactive exhibits and displays, like you would see at a children's museum or really any museum that has any type of interactive storytelling or education or anything like that that can be changed and something that's meant to engage with the audience more than just a static display. So what this is a custom controller that has just a simple dial and a button. And before we get too much into the nitty-gritty of what it is or how it works, we'll show you first what it does. So as I set this dial, we'll set it somewhere up here, and I hit the button, you'll see on the screen exactly what is going on.
The sun rises and the forest world breathes to life. There's a stillness in the early morning air as the creatures of the forest start their day. Amongst the thick canopy of trees, this forest feels like its own little world. What do you notice? What color is the light coming through the leaves? What can you hear?
And as that one fades out, we'll turn the dial to the other side, hit the button again.
As the sun goes down, things start to shift. Because you see, in the forest, where most people see a single independent world, there are actually two. As one world goes to bed, another is just starting their day. These nocturnal creatures live and hunt at night, breathing a different kind of life into their forest world around them. What can you see? How is it different from what we saw as the sun rose? How did the forest world change as the sun went down?
So as you can see, as the dial changes from day to night, it has a different effect on the environment. First of all, the actual LEDs change to give visual feedback into like the button being pressed, and then they fade away to not distract from what is going on in the exhibit. In this example, it's a digital exhibit because we're not showing it on a full installation quite yet. But the great thing about this is it doesn't need to have a computer associated with it. You could connect this directly to lights that use DMX protocol and speakers to run things in the exact same way as you saw on the screen. Or if it is something that has more animation to it, you can directly plug it in and have it control animations and trigger things to tell stories in that way as well. So all that to say, this is a very dynamic piece of kit that you can custom build according to whatever the installation requires. And so the great thing about this is it can be expanded however it needs to be. So say we wanted to have 4 buttons, one for each of the animals that we saw. You can absolutely expand that, have 4 buttons along the way, and a dial that changes one for each of them. I mean, it can be really anything. And the great thing about this is it's expandable. So if it's installed in such a way that the idea is in 6 months' time, we want to update it. So it's a different story that these animals are being told, or that is being told about these animals, pardon me, is you can absolutely do that. So say you wanted to have something where instead of changing the time of day, you're changing the weather. You can go in, just update the code on the box that changes the lights and changes what is being sent to whatever system you're using to visualize these things. Update the code on that, and that's all you need. It's really simple enough to go in and expand this or have them where they communicate with other things across the exhibit or whatever it may be. So all that to say, this is a very small proof of concept, but demonstrates the ability to expand on this in really so many different ways. And this doesn't have to be all electronics. It can also control motors and more different interactive things that work for other types of interactive exhibits. So say you wanted to have a water discovery place, and the buttons, instead of controlling lights or sounds, or in addition to controlling lights and sounds, it controls water pumps that causes rain to fall, or whatever it may be. And so to avoid just droning on and on about all the different possibilities, I'll just leave you with this. If you have any questions, please let me know. There's so much that can be done with this, and I would love to talk about how we might be able to use that to expand and to grow what is possible with the projects that you have coming up.